Peabody. I live and work in Pensacola. I am the mother of Khaifa Peabody. Khaifa Bonogo Peabody, I like to say. On September 5th, 2023, Khaifa was 26 years old when he was murdered.
Came over here, pushed his way in this house, and it was a tussle, and he pulled a gun, and he tried to shoot my nephew in the face, and my nephew shot him. So we were all over here at my niece's house, and we were chilling over here, and then her ex-boyfriend came here, and my niece, she opened her door, to see who was at the door. She thought it was more family.
Okay.
And so she opened her door, and he forced his way in, because he didn't know we were all over here. He forced his way in. He was telling him to get out. He got the person and cousin and all that other shit. Then he grabbed his gun and he tried to shoot my nephew in the face. And so my nephew shot him.
He was murdered that night and literally pronounced dead at about 9:41 p.m. It's been 2 years since I've literally spoken out about Khaifa's death. So I wanted to make a video to be able to speak to that. And I know that what I'm going to share with you will not bring Khaifa back, will not sway the decisions of any of the authorities that were involved in the non-investigation of his death. But I wanted to do this video for Khaifa, for me, for his siblings, his cousins, uncles, aunts, friends, and nephew, and nieces. I wanted to be able to speak to the fact that there were no investigations in the case because it was deemed Florida Stand Your Ground law. What I found over the last 2 years between just me and my friends and family was that there were inconsistencies from the 911 call inside the home to the police interviews done downtown to stories in the newspaper that just described a situation that was totally different. So today I come to you, I wanted to share this again, like I said, mostly because of my family, Khaifa and my family, our friends, those that love Khaifa, to be able to understand that some of what they said about Khaifa did not happen as it did. So when you go following this here, what I'm going to say to you, you will see me and my sisters, my friends, work together to lay out words from the folks who were in the house that night when Khaifa was shot and killed, words from the police interviewing the family. But what you will not see is a video that I saw with my 2 eyes of my son being shot and killed. There was a video inside the house that I was privy to watch on November 15 at the sheriff's office. However, I've been told that I cannot have that video in my possession because it is personal property of the girl's home. Let me I will not explain what's on the video that you're going to see. I want you to just look at it for yourself. But let me just explain to you what I saw on November 15, the morning of November 15, when I walked into the sheriff's office at 10 a.m. Initially, news reports had said that my son walked up to this girl's door and he kicked it in. Contrary to that, on the video, you see Khaifa walk up to the door, put a key in the door, and enter the house. He enters this house, and immediately him and this girl begin to argue. And they argue and they argue. There's at one point you see him flip a table. And then you will see where he tried to leave. And then there are words exchanged between them. And he goes to leave and she pushes the door behind him. And then you will see a couple of men run into the house, and immediately they're all on top of Khaifa, all of them. And they are, tussling, whatever they're doing underneath there, I couldn't see. But you see another gentleman run in the house. He's wearing a red and white shirt, and he proceeds to kick Khaifa. And he kicked him. And he kicked him like he was kicking a football. He kicked him, and he kicked him, and he kicked him. And at some point, Khaifa got loose, and he stood up. That is a part that's murky to me. So whether he had a gun and cocked it at somebody or not, I couldn't see that clearly. But what I do know is that he was fighting for his life that night, because there were 6 people in that house. 6 people. Although the police interviewed only 4, there were 6 people in the house, and they beat the shit out of him. You will hear on the 911 call where the 911 dispatcher asked these people if Khaifa was alive. And they said they weren't going to go near him because he had a gun. They weren't going to go near him because he had a gun.
With the gun.
Okay, where did he get shot, ma'am?
Where do you know I don't want to walk up over him.
Oh, that's okay,
But
okay.
he's still breathing.
Okay, are you with him now? Okay.
By himself. By his hand. So I'm not walking up over him.
Oh, is he awake?
His stomach going up and down. He's breathing. I'm not going by him.
That's okay. That's okay. Is he conscious?
I don't know, ma'am. I'm not
Okay.
going by him.
But
He got a gun by his hand and he did try to shoot my nephew.
But he is breathing?
Yes, that's
Okay.
going up and down.
Gun. Yet, on this video that I'm describing to you, you see a man step over my son's body and go in the back room, and then step over him and come back out. And he was so fearful for his life. Why would he have gone back in there? You will see Khaifa is laying from his waist down. You cannot see his upper body. So we don't know what happened in that room. Why did he go back? So I'm left with all of these questions. And the fact that there was no stringent trials to save my son's life that night. I mean, nobody tried to save him that night. And so for me, this has been the thing that has like eaten me awake at night and day. When one of the things that just was seared in my brain when this guy, one of the detectives said to me, well, Miss Peabody, you may never know how your son died. I refused to accept that. And I tried to turn over every stone I could. My friends, my family, my sisters, and just ordinary people that care for me in Pensacola helped me to put this video together. So I'm asking you to just watch the video in its entirety and just look at the inconsistencies. On the one hand, on the 911 call, they tell you that they're inside the house when my son came in and the girl opens the door. On the other hand, they're telling you that they ran up and come to her rescue. And that stand your ground law meant that there was no investigation to look at these inconsistencies. So I'm asking you, all of you guys who love Khaifa, who love me, you guys knew Khaifa. He was a good guy. And I'm not here today to tell you guys my son was perfect. My God, he had flaws. He may have made some poor choices that I probably wouldn't have wanted. But he didn't deserve to die in the way that he did. He was left to die on the cold floor. The dispatcher told these people they were afraid for their lives to walk out. Nobody tried to save Khaifa that night. Nobody. And so I'm just asking you guys, just watch the video, please. And please make it to the end, because you get to see the rest of my family. also paying tribute to their brother, their cousin, their nephew, and Khaifa. So thank you for if you've stayed with this to the end. I appreciate it.
So I was talking to my niece on the phone earlier, and we were just, having conversation. She was telling me that her and the guy had broke up, and they had been arguing all day, and he won't give her key back. And so she said that, because me and her got off the phone, and then when I talked to her again, she said that she talked to him, and he said that he threw her key away at a gas station. I said, well, just text him back, because he had texted her that or called her and told her whatever. And I said, well, just tell him, okay, you can go to Walmart, you can get you some more locks, don't worry about it. And so she was like, well, that's what I did. I just told him okay and just left it at that. I said, okay, good. So we're just talking on the phone, and all of a sudden she hangs up the phone, and then I get a text from her which said, let me tell you exactly, hold on. It said, he's trying to get in my house. Well, not my house. She put, he's trying to get in the house.
Basically, whenever he came over, he put the key in the thing and everything like that, and I heard it, and I was like, okay, Steph, I gotta go. Because he literally, after that, he just slammed the door in and broke the little lock part.
When she sent me that, and I put, be there in a minute, I told my son, I said, well, grab your shirt, come on, because he just had his white tee on. I said, grab your shirt, come on, we got to go down the street. And he was like, what's going on? I said, well, we got to go to Sasha's because that boy trying to get in her house. And so I called my sister. I was like, hey, this boy trying to get in her house. And so I got off the phone with her like immediately and just started walking.
Then he proceeds to go over to my fridge, and he writing something on the fridge on my little board I have on there. And I don't know what he was writing. I think he was just scribbling, and I threw something at him, and he threw something back at me. And then after that, it was just like he was just throwing a bunch of the big tantrum and throwing a bunch of stuff and everything like that. So I literally went to my door. I'm like over here dodging and ducking and everything like that. Went to my door, opened up the door, and then he's literally finna get ready to leave. And then as he's closing the door, I like push it on him. Then he pushes it back on me while I'm behind the door, like I'm trying to close it, and he pushes it back on me. And so next thing you know, he coming back behind the door trying to get at me. I'm like, no, leave. I'm telling him to literally leave. And then he gets on top of me trying to punch me and everything like that. He's like, you're not gonna put your hands on me. I said, I didn't put my hands on you at all. I'm telling you to go. Like, I'm literally telling you to go. And then he putting his hands on me and everything. Next thing we know, we go into my room. I'm all on the floor.
Is your room through the front door all the way to the right?
Yeah. Okay. Where he was laying at. So we was in my room and everything like that. And we fighting and everything. He's slinging me and all this stuff. Next thing you know, I hear the door open, and literally it's and
he's on top of her, hitting her and stuff. So then I run in there, I push him off of her, and my cousin tries to separate them. So he pushes him off her, and he runs back at her again. And then he starts punching on my cousin, trying to punch me. So at this point, he's fighting both of us at the same time. So we were all in there fighting. Me and him and my cousin were fighting. And my sister's on the ground and stuff because he pushed her on the ground again. He's still trying to get at her. We were tussling and fighting. We ended up fighting from that room where he passed in back into the hallway. We end up in the bathroom. So then we end up back out of the bathroom, and we're fighting towards the living room. We're fighting all the way in the living room, and we finally get him to. Like, we get on top of him, my cousin gets on top of him, he wraps up with him, like he puts him in like I want to say a headlock, and gets him to the ground.
Comes down to the point where I have him pinned on the ground. I was like, bro, why are you putting your hands on her? He was like, I'm just trying to show her that I love her. I was like, by putting your hands on her, that's how you show her how you love her. I was like, bro, you need to leave. You need to leave and don't come back over here.
And once he does that, I'm still hitting him because I'm mad. Like, you putting your hands on my sister, I'm not okay with that. So I kind of blame that. I'm still hitting him real hard. I'm hitting him everywhere, punching him all in his face, cussing him out and shit like that. And then while that's going on, he's like, all right, I'm done. All right, I'll leave. That's what he says.
I'm standing right here. My nephew is like right over my shoulder. We're telling him to just leave. And then my son is standing like back here, like. I'm standing here, the guy is standing here by the wall, and my nephew's standing like right here, over my left shoulder, he's right here. and my son is like back here. So God picks up the gun, he comes up with the gun, and he's pointing at my nephew's face, and he click, and then he did one more time over this way, which would be where my son was standing.
When you see the gun, can you tell me anything about the gun?
Camouflage? Okay, yeah, it was something.
Did you see the gun when he had it?
Yeah.
Did you feel like it was pointed at you?
No, it was more so pointed up in the air, kind of.
Okay.
So, no, the first two, you talking about when he was pointed toward your way?
No, but he was just pulling it back. It was more so up.
When he was cocking it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cocking it, baby. He's talking about he's talking about when he was pointing it. Did you feel like he ever pointed it in your direction is what he's asking?
No.
Okay. And so my nephew just automatically grabbed his gun out his pocket because he didn't have it out. Nobody was trying to, we just want dude to get the fuck on.
Sure.
So my nephew grabbed his gun and he shot back because dude is trying to shoot at us. You know, it's only by the grace of God that his gun jammed, or else my nephew would have been shot in the face and my son probably would have been shot in the face.
So I was having so fast, I don't remember if I pushed his arm out the way, like he was like this, and I pushed his arm, like mushed his arm and then punched him, or I just punched him. But we ended up going back towards that same room again where he passed, going back down the hallway again as I'm fighting him while he has his gun. And I had my weapon on me, my Glock 43X, 9mm, I had it on me in my pocket. I didn't want to shoot anybody, I just came to get him to leave. He said he was going to leave, but then he didn't leave, and he pulled out a gun. So I'm still fighting him off back towards the room. So then he finally gets a shot off, he fires another shot, it flies right past my head. At that point, I pulled my Glock up, and I fired 2 shots. And then I backed up into the living room, and we were all in the living room, then we called the police. And then we went outside after that. You know,
that's the smartest thing you could have done. You handled it the best way that you could have, getting out of there, waiting for help, especially if he still got a gun.
Yeah, so he was still in his hand.
Because he's still a threat. So, okay, so that was the right thing to do.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
Am I gonna have to do like the whole process? I've been going to court a lot, like about my car here got stolen. I don't know if y'all know about the Mustang, Cervantes that was stolen. The guy ran into the building, he died in it. One guy died in it.
I think I remember that.
That was my car. I've been going to court for that, and then I don't know if I got to go to court for the where I got hit with a stray bullet on the beach, but that happened, and now this happened. So it's like it's just been back to back.
You aren't gonna have to go to court for this.
Okay.
So when he pulls the gun out, like tell me what you were thinking when you saw the gun.
I wasn't really thinking. My adrenaline was so high when he pulls it out, and my mind like he just pulled out a gun. I'm trying to process where he got the gun from because nobody knew he had one on him. Because you couldn't tell, like even when we were on top of him and he would leave, you couldn't tell he had one. Like he had it hidden. I don't know if it was in the bag or it was tucked somewhere on him, but yeah, I really didn't think about it till it clicked twice. When it clicked twice, I'm like, oh, it's jammed, so it's not gonna go off. So at that point, that's when I don't know about, like I said, I don't know if I hit him or I pushed his arm, then I hit him. But it was one of those sequences, and I was trying to basically knock it out of his hand. But when it went off the third time, that's when I'm like, okay, I need to shoot him, because if I don't, he could shoot me and then shoot them because they don't have a firearm. I'm the only one with one. So if he would have hit me with that third shot, because I was like this close to him. So if it would have hit me, he probably would have killed them after he killed me. There's no telling. So I'm like, let me just fire back.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, and correct me if I'm hearing you wrong, you choose to fire because you're afraid he's going to kill you.
No, he did.
When he shoots, you're afraid he's going to kill you and then kill everybody else, and that's what made you choose to shoot. Is that correct?
No, I shot because he shot, and I didn't want to get shot, and I didn't want anybody else to get shot.
Okay.
But afterwards, that's what the thought that went to my mom. Like he could have killed me, and then he could have killed them. There's no telling what he would do.
But when you shot, your concern was him shooting you and then shooting everybody else.
No.
Listen to what I'm saying. Okay. Because I think we're saying the same thing. So when you decided to pull the trigger on your gun when you shot, you did that because he shot at you, and then your concern was if he shot you, he could shoot everybody else.
I didn't think that to after.
Okay.
Like kind of in, like while it was happening and after.
I got you. So you went ahead and shot because he shot at you, and you were concerned about him hurting you.
Yes, sir.
Is that accurate?
Yes, sir.
Were you
Okay.
in fear for your life?
Yes, sir.
After that, I didn't know that he died until literally I left, and I had just found that out before we pretty much came over here, to be honest. And I didn't want none of that to happen at all. I'm sure my brother and my cousins didn't either, but literally he was finna kill my brother. So that's what it was. Like, I hate that all that stuff happened. I'm nervous about like his mom finding out he just started a job, all of this stuff. Nobody wanted nothing to happen to him at all. Like, he just was doing too much, and he's never put his hands on me before. He's gotten hostile, he's gotten in my face, he's pushed me back, he's like, did a couple things or like grabbing me and stuff, but he's never put his hands on me until tonight. He's never put his hands on me.
My name is Louise Bole. I'm the aunt of my nephew that was killed in September of 2023. First of all, I'd like to say that my nephew was killed, and when my nephew was killed in September, I rushed down to Pensacola to be by the side of my sister. Went down to the sheriff's office, and the report said that my nephew was killed because he broke down the door and went in with a gun and was pointing the gun at his girlfriend, and that's why it was self-defense. But according to the 911 tape that I'd listened to, the 911 tape said that we were all sitting in here chilling when he came in, opened the door, and he pushed her aside.
So we were all over here at my niece's house, and we were chilling over here, and then her ex-boyfriend came here, and my niece, she opened her door to see who was at the door. She thought it was more family.
Okay.
And so she opened her door, and he forced his way in, because he didn't know we were all over here. He forced his way in. He was telling him to get out. He got the person his husband and all that other shit. Then he grabbed his gun, and he tried to shoot my nephew in the face.
And then we went to see the tape. The videotape that was taken from in the house said, well, first of all, according to the sheriff, the investigation, the sheriff said that my nephew broke down the door and he went in and he was beating his girlfriend. But according to the tape that we saw when we went to see the tape from the girl's house, there was nothing that said that my nephew broke into the house. My nephew walked into the house, he opened the door, he walked into the house, and the first thing he did, he put his bag down and he hit the table, and he went to the girl, and they started arguing. They argued and they started to shuffle each other, and at one point he tried to walk away, and she followed him to the door, and she put her hands towards the door, and that's when he turned around and he pushed her, and then she turned around and she pushed him. That's when 2 or 3 people enter the house, and they push him down to the ground, and they start hitting him, pushing him, and he was yelling, "Stop, stop, stop." He kept on yelling, and they kept on pushing and kicking, and then another girl with a patch came into the house, and she was standing there to the door, and I think it was the mom or the aunt or somebody that came into the house. I didn't know who I don't know who the lady was, but she came into the house and they all were standing there, and these 3 boys was hitting and beating my nephew, and then he tried and he got himself up. He was trying to get himself away, and he got stuck into a hall, and at that point it was a little bit dark in the hall, and all I could see is the shadow, and I saw his hands up. I didn't see any object in his hands, but I saw his hand up, and I heard a gunshot going off twice, pow, pow, and I heard him down. And then I saw somebody I think it was the police or somebody that came in and they passed over him. It was one of the boys that jumped over him, and then another. When the police that came in, when the police came in, they didn't go exactly to see my nephew. They went into the other room. And then the girl with the patch had the bag on her side. She was about to say something, and then the lady said, shh. The lady put her hands to her mouth and told her to shush, not to say anything. And the police went into the other room and came back out of the room before they went to look, before they went to even take a look at my nephew. And that's when I knew that something was not right. And so if the police know that it was a self-defense, then let them give us the tape, or let us see the tape, or let the tape go out there and let everybody see that it was a self-defense. And if it's a self-defense, we accept it and we take our losses and agree to that my nephew did this, and we agree to this fact. But until then, we would like to see the tape. Thank you.
I am one of the aunts of Khaifa Peabody. I am going to attempt to read a news article that was put out when he got killed. And it is supposedly describing the situation when it happened, when he got killed. Okay, it says, the caption says, gun-toting Florida man turns tables on sister's ex who broke down front door. And it says police. Then it says, an armed Florida man who rushed to defend his sister from an abusive ex-boyfriend will face no charges after fatally shooting him, according to the local sheriff's office. If someone points a gun at you and cocks it, you can shoot them. Escambia County Sheriff Chip Simmons told WARE News of the incident that unfolded last week. Escambia County Sheriff's Escambia County Sheriff's disputes responded to a home within the Silver Lake Mobile Home Park last Tuesday and found an unidentified 26-year-old man dead from a gunshot wound. The sheriff's office said in a news release. Investigators said the man was the ex-boyfriend of a 24-year-old unidentified woman who lives in the home. The man reportedly broke the woman's door down and entered the home and struck her several times, according to the sheriff's office. When this incident happened, and this article was written September 11, 2023. When this incident happened and I learned from my family that this had happened to my nephew, me and my son read 3 other articles that said he had kicked the door down and started to abuse this girl. Nothing in any article that we read, apparently, according to the video, was facts. Also, the 911 call that was made from the trailer home to the police about him kicking the door down, and they described things that did not take place in the video. And it's that, to me, that the video shows something different from what was shown was read in these articles. That's why I just read this article, which I read 3 other articles that said the same thing. He kicked the door down and attempted to abuse this lady. It's not facts. And so the sheriff has deemed this stand your ground law to, I guess it's to justify why he got shot and killed. But things are not adding up. It's not matching, it's not adding up. So I would just like to, I just wanted to put this out from the articles that I read. Thank you.
So, hi everybody, I'm Charlie Benju. I'm Khaifa's oldest sister, and I just wanted to come and share a few words from my heart about my baby brother. I miss him so much. I love him so much, and I just can't even begin to grapple that it has been almost 2 years that I've not heard his voice. I've not had a text message or a silly conversation with him. He was my world. I loved him from the beginning. I loved him all the way to the end. My dad called him Champ. So very quickly, I'm going to tell you that C stands for charismatic, H stands for happy, A stands for athletic, M stands for motivator, and P stands for Peabody. He was everything to us. I love him and always will.
Hi, my name is Lee Peabody. I am one of the big sisters of Khaifa. Khaifa was not only a brother to us, but he was also a brother-in-law, an uncle, and a friend to many. I miss Khaifa. I think about him every single day. I miss being able to call him or text him just to laugh and chat like we always did. My son has taken a great interest in aviation, and I always tell him, hey, you're just like your Uncle Khaifa. And I want Khaifa to know that we miss him, we love him, and his legacy will live on, and we will forever speak his name. Thank you.
Hello, I am Kula. I am one of Khaifa's cousins, and I really just wanted to come on here to give so much kind words about my cousin and how his legacy and the impact that he made during his short time here on earth will never be forgotten. And I feel like that was really seen through just going to the funeral and really just seeing how so many people were lined up to say such kind, thoughtful, and impacting remarks. Even from when Khaifa was younger, back in high school, even seeing the high school principal take time out of their schedule to come and speak on Khaifa's behalf. Even students and his peers saying how much he was encouraging, how much he made them feel seen, how much he made them just feel loved overall. And I feel like that's one big piece that we're all going to miss, including myself. I mean, so many times that Khaifa has reached out to check on me, to tell me how proud he was of me, and to really just be that little big cousin, because he truly was a little big brother, you know, to always spur me on and to make me feel seen, that through my own challenges that like I'm doing good, and to feel good in persisting and enduring in my own personal challenges. And I will always remember that. I will always keep those messages near and dear to my heart. So to have someone with a big heart not be with us, it is heartbreaking, it is gut-wrenching, but to know that he made such an impact on the people when he was here really shows how special of a person he was, how unique of a person he was. And that is how I will forever remember Khaifa.
If I had to pick a way to remember Khaifa, I would just say I remember him as being like a kind, genuine person. He always had my back. He always looked out for me when we went to our first year of college together. He always looked out for me, and he always had my back. No matter how many times I got mad at him, no matter how many times I didn't like the things that he said, he always showed up for me and did like above and beyond for me. I really wish that we had more time. I wish that we had more time to talk. I wish that we had...
Hi, my name is Seattle Savoy, and I'm Sienna Washburn. And today I speak not just about a cousin, but as a voice for someone whose life was stolen, whose story remains unfinished. This is about finding justice for Khaifa. Khaifa was more than a name. He was family. He was love. He was life. He was my cousin, but his life was taken. And we still don't have the answers. And we ask today, and we want the world to hear us. Who killed my cousin Khaifa? Why is the killer not in jail? And was the ownership of the gun ever resolved? And did this situation qualify as a stand your ground? Or was it something else? Something wrong. Something that needs to come to light. We are planning to investigate and to continue to raise our voices and the other voices in our family. We will continue to speak up. We're calling on the public, the media, and the justice system because we want transparency. We want accountability. We want justice for Khaifa.
So I challenge each of you to find a reason to be kind to someone, to find a reason to teach someone something new, to find a reason to include someone in who probably feels like they're left out. Khaifa did it. That's who he was. In fact, I've never known him to know a stranger. So, with that, I'm going to wrap up and say that I love Khaifa. I am proud to be an extension of his love. I'm proud to be an extension of his legacy and his kindness. And until the day that I have no more breath in my body, and even beyond, I love him.
Forever in our hearts, Khaifa Bonugwa Peabody, we'll all love you. We will all always be screaming your name here on earth and advocating for you and, continuing to provide your example of what it was like to be that kind, loving person. And we will make sure to continue to advocate for you and show that example that you left us.
Hello, my name is Winnie. I am Khaifa's aunt. I just want to say to you, Khaifa, that we love and missed you. You made such a difference in so many people's lives. Your family, your friends, your community, and some of these people we did not even know about until we heard from them personally. How your kindness touched their lives. It made me think how a little kindness can go a long way. Because of this, your spirit and memories will live on through your love and kindness. We love you, Khaifa. Rest in God's peace. Amen.
My name is Elizabeth Rambo, aka Auntie Cooley to my nephew. I was very close to my nephew. I love him and we texted frequently. And God, I miss him. I truly believe that he is that white butterfly that visits me. I just wish that he will rest in peace. It's been almost 2 years since my nephew Khaifa was murdered. I have so many questions. I sat in the Escambia County Sheriff's Office with two detectives the very next day after his death. The detectives described the scene crime like my nephew had instigated the fight. But we were led to believe that the door was broken down when he entered, but in fact, Khaifa had the key and walked in that home. It was written in a paper that my nephew had beaten his ex 45-year-old girlfriend. Wrong. In fact, my 26-year-old nephew was murdered in the home of his 25 years old girlfriend, not 45 years old ex girlfriend. There was no 45 years old girlfriend. The Escambia County officials announced that the case was a stand your ground law. That announcement was made the following day after my nephew's death. The police took a long time for this to be processed. The investigation stood no chance. The video of the actual incident revealed discrepancies that is, oh my God, so unbelievable. We were denied that video. My sister was only allowed to watch that video in the station with the sheriffs hovering over her. The case was not investigated with integrity. I'm sorry. The case was not investigated with integrity. I hope, it is my hope, that this information will help the investigators and other pertinent officers in the future to not jump to conclusions. A murderer walks the streets and my nephew is dead. Here are the questions that I have. Questions that need to be answered. Who killed Khaifa? Why is the killer not in jail? Was the ownership of that gun ever resolved? Did the person who killed Khaifa live in the house? Did a murderer case meet the stand your ground law? Is there a way to investigate the murderer who still walks the street?